Naren Shaam joins us today. He founded GoEuro and he's about to tell us why there's still work to be done in the travel industry. Welcome to Tech Sessions. I'm with Naren Shaam, who's the founder of GoEuro. This is a really interesting site. I've had a play.
Okay. And you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I did enjoy it, yeah. And it seems to be doing something that no other travel site is doing. So it's a comprehensive search for your journey across Europe.
Yeah.
Is that the right way to pitch it?
Yes, in a very simplistic form, what we do is we bring search more natural. Until today, people have searched airports to airports. You go onto any of the websites, Opodo, Kayak, etc. You can search from London to Edinburgh, but I'm sitting in Cambridge, for example. I need to go to Edinburgh. I want to be able to type in Cambridge to Edinburgh, and I'll tell you what's the total time of travel for train, and if you go by flight, what are the 5 airports. Consumers don't necessarily know all the airports, what is the best airport. So people search on multiple websites for the cheapest flight, or the direct train is cheaper or faster. How much is the total time of travel, not my London to Edinburgh 1 hour flight, but it's my an hour to the airport, and that's another £40 back and forth is the total cost. So we bring this natural way of search and completeness of travel journey into the search platform.
It's a really, really busy sector though. You are genuinely convinced there's a real business opportunity.
Absolutely. The travel market has not gone through. First of all, travel is one of the first sectors that came online 15 years ago. And since then, innovation has been very behind compared to other sectors. It's very, very competitive, but I have not yet seen a product that solves the natural way of searching for consumers, that they can fully transact and not just give routes.
So just for people that haven't used the site yet, just explain the experience when you go on to the site. What does it look like?
Absolutely. So today we're optimized in UK and Germany. So if you go onto the site, you can go to goeuro.co.uk and you can type in, for example, our head of marketing, Tim, comes from Chelmsford in Essex. And you can type in Chelmsford. You don't have to type in London, because you can just type in Chelmsford, Essex to Edinburgh, and we will tell you a direct train, and you will also compare that to flight options, and it will give you different airport options, and each airport has a full journey. So it's not just a 1 hour flight. It tells you the cost to get to the airport, the trains you have to take, the 1 hour waiting time, and then all the way home. So it's a full journey. You can enter any town. It's not airport to airport. You can type Stonehenge. Yeah, I have no idea how to get to Stonehenge. I know as now.
A303.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of obvious now you're saying it.
Yeah.
Have you had much success in convincing investors that there's real money to be made here? And how much funding have you had then?
Yeah, so far we've been very lucky. We've closed about 2 seed rounds. The last one is about 4 million. And we've got 2 fantastic investors. First one is Battery Ventures, over 6 billion in assets from the Valley. And we've got Platinum Ventures, which is German-based, and very technology-focused fund. Fantastic investors, I really am happy. And this is one of the larger seed rounds in Germany, especially in an industry that is known to be super competitive. So I think we're doing something different here.
You're based in Berlin then, you're from India, and you were educated in the US.
Yes.
So this is a very international business. So tell us a bit about your background and, you know, your education, I suppose, would be the place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started, I come from India. I studied engineering and mathematics as an undergrad. I graduated very, very early. I was barely 20 when I finished undergrad. And then I did a master's as well. And then I worked in the industry for about 3 years, mainly running product. So I was a global product manager. And then I went back to business school at Harvard, and then I worked in financial services for about a few years. And in the gap between my degree and my work in New York, I traveled Europe for about 4 months, and that's when I saw how fantastic ground transportation is, but how broken it is in terms of consumer experience. So I decided if I give it 2 years, nobody has built it, I'm going to come here and build it myself. 2 years, nobody's done it, so I quit my job, moved to Berlin, started the company last April.
And why Berlin? Why not London?
No, London, this was one of the biggest decisions I had to make. So London for me is a great startup hub. If I were to build a company that's more focused on advertising, more app-focused, more social media. We're building a technology company that solves a problem, and I had the opinion that technology resources are one, cheaper in Berlin, and also more easy to find. Here I'm competing with JP Morgan, who can pay 4 times as much for the same programmer. So for me, it was a better decision to go to Berlin. Now that said, I am in London every month, so our market is here. We've got many people on the team from London. We're very involved in the scene here, so it's not a market I can avoid being in Europe.
And how long did it take you to knit together the information from all of those different travel companies? Because that's the thing with Europe, it's incredibly densely packed in terms of its infrastructure and its service providers.
Exactly. The biggest problem we have is breaking through what we call monopolistic rails. UK has 21 train companies, but outside UK there's generally Germany has Deutsche Bahn, France has SNCF, Spain has Renfe. So we've been very, very fast through our execution. I moved last April. I got my first contracts by September. We launched the product 6 months within that, within 3 months after funding, and now we're growing very, very fast.
Well, you've obviously, I mean, there's a great consumer proposition there, and you've obviously impressed the investors.
Yeah.
Where's the money coming from?
It's very, very simple. You come to GoEuro, you search from London to Heidelberg and Prague, Heidelberg and Germany, sorry. It's a very, very small town. It's fantastic. You look through your flight, train, bus. You say, okay, I'm going to take the train. It's more beautiful. You click on the train. You book the train via Deutsche Bahn. We function as a meta search engine, so we pass you over, and we get paid a very healthy commission.
In 5 years' time, are you going to be owned by someone else? Are you looking to sell out, or do you want to just be?
I want to build. I want to build.
You want to build.
It's a big opportunity. I haven't seen anyone successfully crack this market.
You're very interested as well in having an ethical business and giving back. Tell us about that.
So I come from a very, very humble background. So I know how success can come with education. So I'm very passionate about institutionalizing this way of success. Instead of just give me £10 and I'll feed a family in India, I'm going to put in £100 to see if I can pay fees for the for a kid, and hopefully over a generation or two the entire community benefits from better education.
Tell us about the people that you're helping.
I haven't really shared with too many people yet what I do, but today, I've been doing this for 10 years now, very, very small contribution. Today, me and my mom, we pay for about 8 children for their education, for schooling, and the more I create and make for myself, the more I'm able to give back. So that's the biggest thing that drives me every day. I think I love creating businesses. This is what I will do. I'm not going to do social entrepreneurship full time. I like what I do for profit. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to do that on the side.
But it's baked into how
my
you
decision,
want your business
yes,
to build.
Exactly,
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no point making money by screwing somebody else.
Who inspires you in the wider technology industry?
Yeah, I think I drive the biggest inspiration from Elon Musk.
Yeah, the Tesla.
Yeah, exactly.
Family, yeah.
Tesla, SpaceX, Solar City, PayPal, so many companies. I think what he does is beyond normal thinking. It's like I'm going to launch the next rocket. Okay, I'm going to start a rocket company and go after NASA. I'm going to create the next biggest electric car that Daimler is going to buy my batteries from, or whatever it is. It's not. I think he started very, I wouldn't say humble, create products that make money and use that money to funnel the next big wave. You cannot say, today if I were to say I'm going to disrupt Google, people will laugh at me, but if I create something that gives me credibility and then I go out and say, hey, I'm going to do the next big thing, then people will be more likely to listen. So I think he's done fantastic execution along with what I call brilliant vision. So I drive most of my inspiration from him.
Aim for the stars. Yeah. Naren, that's been really, really interesting. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.